What's going on, guys? Super Savage 789 here, bringing you guys a video. Today we're doing What If Coby Became a Straw Hat Part 2. In the last part, we covered how Coby ended up joining Luffy on his voyage, and how he swapped his mindset from being a marine to being a Shichibukai, which is where we left off. While the Straw Hats sailed towards Reverse Mountain, Coby would be reading one of the books he purchased at Logtown. Curiously, Usopp asks what Coby is reading, and he shows the long-nosed man. It's a book about the Rokushiki techniques. Usopp takes note of one of them and tells Coby that these are quite interesting. The Straw Hats arrive on Reverse Mountain, where they make it up all the same. They meet Crocus and Laboon, as well as Vivi and Mr. Nine. That all goes the same, as well as the adventures at Whiskey Peak. Coby just be unconscious with Usopp and Sanji. Coby would be extremely motivated to beat up Crocodile, since his dream is to become a warlord, and here Crocodile is throwing around his status. When arriving at Little Garden, Coby stays on the ship with Usopp and Nami, and meets Broggy. Of course, the first half goes the same, all the way until Nami gets captured. Both Coby and Usopp get away, with Coby using Soru, and Usopp running as fast as possible. Mr. Five and Miss Valentine arrive, leading to battle. With Coby using Soru, he's able to avoid attacks and get distance, however, getting into land attacks leads to the Baroque work members pinning him and taking him down along with Usopp. They would get up alongside Luffy, and then head to where the Candlelock is to save Vivi, Zoro, and Nami. Coby would take the initiative and immediately rushes at Miss Golden Week, who uses her paint to try and thwart him. She gets him with Betrayal Black, but Coby escapes with help from Vivi. Then, using Soru, he gets some distance. Remembering his cabin work job, he begins grabbing water from nearby surfaces and grabbing leaves and twigs, and makes a makeshift mop and bucket. When returning, he attacks her paint palette, washing all the paint off, making it all pour on the palette, mixing together, and ruining the effects. Coby then uses Soru to kick her in the face, which knocks her clean out. This has a weird side effect of weakening Mr. 3, and it makes that weird clay mech suit, so Luffy has a much easier time beating him. Everyone then leaves Little Garden all the same. Nami of course still gets ill, and they are forced to head to Drum Island. Wapple submits and gets beat by the Straw Hats. Then they continue and meet Dalton. Coby would be with Usopp, Zoro, and Vivi, which means he really doesn't contribute to this arc, except for some comic relief. Usopp will be asking Coby to help train during this time though. Since Coby had good ideas about how to go about learning techniques, he asks Coby how to teach him one of them. So Coby does his best to instruct Usopp, trying to teach himself the same technique in the process. We'll learn soon what this is. As they move along with Chopper as the 7th Straw Hat, they finally arrive at Alabasta. Both Luffy and Coby would be extremely hungry and move to eat, leaving the others where they are. Of course, shenanigans ensue with Ace and Smoker, leading to the Straw Hats having to flee. As they are leaving, Smoker barks towards the pink-haired boy to get his attention. He asks what he meant when he said the Marines are corrupt, and so Coby decides to explain, all the while keeping his guard up. The Marines are corrupt by power and greed. I've seen it with people like Morgan and Izumi. It's like a virus that spreads, corrupting everyone around them. It wasn't the Marines who had saved Shelltown or Kokoyashi Village. It was a pirate. And just because he doesn't follow their corrupt sense of justice, he's deemed a criminal? Coby's powerful words seep into Smoker's mind as he's left speechless. Surely, he can't be correct, right? Marines are justice, pirates are scum. That's how it is. Seeing someone from Luffy's crew in trouble, Ace decides to create a massive inferno in front of him and gets Coby out of there. Ace has his interaction with the crew and then dips like normal. They'd move through the desert like normal and arrive at Rain Base. Of course, the Straw Hats bump into Smoker and Tashigi, where everyone splits up. Coby would go with Vivi, leaving everyone else to fend for themselves. Usopp would demonstrate his new ability, Geppo. He picks up Nami and flies away, while they distance themselves from the others on nearby rooftops. While Nami wants to go and immediately help, Usopp states how it's a sniper's duty to support, so he'll wait for the others. So Usopp, Nami, after meeting up with Sanji and Chopper, begin forming a plan of action. Meanwhile, Coby and Vivi would meet up with Pell, where Robin arrives. Both Coby and Pell put up a good fight, but are quickly defeated, and Vivi gets taken. Coby would be quick to awaken, however, and wakes up Pell, when they begin forming a strategy. Pell wants to go save Vivi, however, Coby reassures her they'll be fine. So Coby decides to head to go stop the rebellion, as Pell heads to Alabasta to stop anything happening there. Coby arrives at the location of the rebellion and watches the uproar occurring with the supposed king and Koza. He quickly realizes this is Mr. 2 and tries his best to stop people from causing chaos. This falls on deaf ears though. So Coby merely disguises himself and hides among the crowd, trying to conceal the panic on his face. Meanwhile, Usopp, Nami, Sanji, and Chopper worked together and saved the 4 people captive. Smoke had realized Koby's point after watching Luffy save him, and would make sure no Marines attack them. I think that Smoker would approach the Straw Hats and tells them that they need to work together to defeat Crocodile, so Smoker would tag along with the pirates for the time being. They all make it to Alabasta the same and begin battle. Smoker would begin battling Mr. 2 as well as Sanji, leading to the Okama's defeat much quicker. I'm sure we get some cool choreography from Smoker and Sanji as they inevitably take down Bon Clay. Meanwhile, Usopp and Chopper have their fight with Mr. 4 and Miss Merry Christmas. However, it goes much more smoothly since Usopp can practically fly against an opponent who is a mole. Coby would be stuck in the midst of the battle, doing his best to try and fend off both sides. He continues to scream about the fight as his mind begins to break down. It's almost like he can feel everyone dying. He begins to clench his head in the middle of the battle as he recoils in fear, listening to the screams of those who pass away. Stop fighting! His plea was loud and powerful, echoing through the land. Everyone stopped and lowered their blades, staring towards Coby, as if awaiting his next words. You're all fighting a needless war, filled with bloodshed. You've all been tricked to think the king did this, but he didn't. It was Crocodile. Please believe me. And I think they would believe him. Of course, the Baroque work members that were within the crowd begin to pull their weapons, but Coby can feel their malicious intent. He uses Soru to quickly knock them out. He informs the crowd that Baroque Works has infiltrated their ranks and that anyone who attacks anyone else should be stopped. Using this new ability he has, he begins taking down everyone who feels like a bad guy, basically stopping the rebellion before Vivi ever has to. From here, the arc is pretty much the same, with Straw Hats, along with Smoker, stopping the bomb, Luffy beating Crocodile and saving Robin. They then sacrifice Mr. 2 for their getaway as well as say goodbye to Vivi. On the ship, as the Straw Hats sail away, Coby reassures him Mr. 2 is alive. He explains to him that he awakened his weird ability during the war, and that he can sense things now. He doesn't really have a name for it though. He then feels something on the ship that he doesn't recognize. He makes this verbalize as Nico Robin steps out and asks to join the crew. Luffy agrees, and they continue moving to Jaya. Smoker would be given the credit for this victory, which he really dislikes. He approaches Sengoku and slaps a piece of paper on the desk. This is resignation. Someone opened up my eyes to this crooked justice. I'm done with it. It's time I do things my way. Tashigi and Hina rush over to Smoke after hearing this, asking if he's nuts, and he says that his eyes have been opened up. He tells them that if they ever meet again, they'll be enemies, so they should treat him like one. They tell him to stop, but he merely knocks him out. Django and Full Body attack Smoker, but he merely tells him to stop. He knows Django used to be a pirate, and quite an effective one at that, and so he gives him the offer to join him. In return, he'll spare Hina next time he sees her. Naturally, this is a bluff. He will always spare his friends, but they don't know that. So, quite reluctantly, they agree to become the first official members of the Smoker Pirates. And that's it for here. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment below. If you like this, give it some likes as it really does support the channel and lets me know you want to see a part 3 as soon as possible. Hope you're all enjoying your October so far, and it's not long before we get into the Halloween specials, so be excited for that. And so, yeah, bye!